Hi, Layal. Welcome to the Boguslavski and Co podcast. You are based in Dubai, right? But you run a production agency in UAE, Saudi, and Lebanon. Is that correct?
Hey, hi there. Yes, thank you for pronouncing my name right. Very few people do that in the region, English speakers. And yes, we are based out of Dubai and Saudi and Lebanon. And I personally navigate between the three cities.
And you are Lebanese yourself.
I'm Lebanese.
Okay. How did you get into filmmaking and the production industry, and what was the impetus behind this?
I think I started attending shoots and being present on set since I was 18 years old. Like I was a trainee, and I just thought it was at first like a hobby or so, or a way to make extra money in Lebanon, in Beirut, where the production hub was for the whole region at the time. And then with time,
Not
I
to
knew that
age you,
this is
but when was that?
maybe 25 years ago or
Okay.
so. Yes, 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 quite a while ago. Uh, and um, and then I figured out that yes, this is what I like, and being a producer is what I like. So lots of people want to be directors or photographers or so on the artist side of this. I always wanted to be on the logistics and practical part of filmmaking and production.
Your background, though, was initially at advertising agencies. What were your roles and how did it lead to your entrepreneurial ventures?
Right. So, yes, I did start at two advertising agency. I was first at Saatchi and Saatchi in Beirut, and then at Gray, both multinationals. And it was good experience, but it wasn't hand-on. I felt that it was a bit of politics and diplomacy and taking care of
Well,
people,
advertising world.
etc.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I really wanted to be more on the ground and producing. At the time, the region did not have much of a film industry, like almost non-existent, except for Egypt. I thought that going into the filming for advertising and commercials would be the means to be working more on the ground in production.
You run a film production agency called Film Pudding. I love the name, by the way. I love the branding. I also check out your Instagram. So few people, I'm never critical, but so few people get that right. You really gotten that right. What was your experience like of founding a business in the UAE and then expanding it into the region? And what were some of the challenges you faced?
Right. So that happened around 16 years ago. There were other really good production houses around by that time. A lot from South Africa, a few Lebanese production houses, and they were well established in the regions. It wasn't the golden days then. The golden days had passed, but it was good in terms of they were still good budget or so. I mean, I felt then everyone said I would fail. I have to say that, like as probably one of the first female producers to open her own production house in the region. Maybe the
But
first.
you
I've
did
actually never.
Dubai first, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, Dubai. So maybe I was the first. I never even thought of that, but I know it wasn't the easiest thing for a woman in the Middle East to be opening a production house in the region. It's a very
Well,
like male
16 years ago.
dominated.
I think it's a bit different now, but yes.
Definitely, it's very different, and it's great to see. So it was challenging at first. A lot of people tried to fight this off, but I had been here 5 years.
When
I
you say
had
people, was it men or was it people?
men, competitors, people who didn't take us very seriously. You work double hard to prove yourself. But I had already had some clients. I had a good team. And actually a good chunk of the people who were with me back then are still with me. And I think this is what helps us, helped us grow, helped us persevere, helped us not just be a kind of one producer kind of company, but develop into a company that works with or without me, truthfully, which was the ultimate goal. Branch at first, I would sit in meetings in the past where sometimes men would not even look in our direction. They would only address the males in the room. But we have definitely evolved a lot from that. You just
And
don't
don't
give
you
up.
find on that topic, sorry, before you continue, I actually find, and I mean, I've worked everywhere, I find Arab men more respectful.
Yeah.
than I
Yeah.
do with some of the US, UK men that I've worked with in business.
Yeah. And I think actually, but when I talk about that, it's not necessarily Arab men, not
Yeah,
at all. It's just
I'm not
like,
surprised.
this is a male-dominated region, so don't mess with here. Doesn't They didn't need to be Arab to give that feeling. But on another hand, I do have to say that specifically people in the UAE and the Dubai film entity here, they did support us a lot. They've always been by our side. And I think that helped a lot. It's an organized city, it's an organized country, it's safe. Uh, People work according to the law. If you have a permit, you're gonna shoot. You're not gonna get kicked off the street or so. And I think the background in Lebanon of us coming from a very chaotic country where you bend the rules, where anything can happen, where you are used to getting all kinds of surprises, which is part of the characteristics of being a good producer is handling problems. And coming to a place that is very organized, I think you make the best out of both worlds.
Yeah.
A few
You
years ago, we expanded into Saudi. Sorry. A few
no
years
no
ago, we
continue
expanded.
continue.
Yeah, I wanted to say that was an exciting part of the journey, expanding into Saudi, because it had just started opening up. It was started welcoming women working there. So I think we are lucky enough, like, to have been in the phase where people were welcoming women. It was okay for us to be working on the streets or in certain areas. Actually, everyone was very supportive. The Saudi ladies getting into the workforce there were the best surprise ever. They are so eager to work, so ambitious. Overnights, weekends, doing work more than their job description would have it. It was a pleasant surprise, and I think although it used to be tough to work in Saudi, now it is really pleasant to work there.
But it's been a dramatic transformation, and especially for the film industry. And if you're looking at the theatrical one with Red Sea Film Festival and Neom and things like that, it's very exciting. I think
It is. It is. I think it's the place to be, and it has helped us a lot. And we did something a few years ago as well, like studying the market, because things kept shifting, and then there was content and viral films and social films and low budgets. So we also opened in Dubai a sister company called Très Content that handles content production. So that was also one of the things that I think we're smart about in tackling, because we also were getting lots of very low budget films that we would be too expensive for, being a rather high end kind of production house with a lot of senior people. And it's either we were always too expensive and we're losing out on this work, or we would just like pass on it. And so that was also a successful venture here in Dubai. And now they're doing
you're
well. They do the more
primarily
fun stuff. We do the more high-end stuff. They do the fun stuff.
okay. You're primarily involved in commercial film production. Have you had any experience with feature films, and have you wanted to?
None. And I think this is the next step. This has to be the next step.
That's very interesting. Um, Being a female production entrepreneur in the Middle East versus the US, what have been some of the difficulties you've had to overcome daily?
I don't think right now it is a challenge, female versus male. I think we are very well respected. All doors are open to all of us equally. It is at the moment, honestly, I would not say it's a challenge. Not at all.
I
I
would
mean, I think
even say region specific, it's an advantage. I think regions like Saudi invest more in the film industry now than if you're looking at United States.
they do, definitely. I mean, I think now anyone with a good script that is culturally and regionally relevant would definitely stand a chance. They will listen to them. They are all arms open. They want to, everyone in the region wants to be on the feature film map, etc. It is the right time for sure.
Now, final question: what's next for Film Pudding?
I think we already spoiled it. It's like going into the
Yes,
feature film scene.
you guys are making a movie. Can't wait to see it. Yeah,
Yes, that would be next. Or either series. We've also been eyeing that seriously, getting into the series production kind of business on a creative level as well as on a production level.
fantastic. I wish you all of the best and thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.